I am Shelby Newkirk. I am a Canadian para swimmer and world record holder, and I am from Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan. Growing up, I'd done pretty much every other sport other than swimming. I grew up playing basketball, volleyball, soccer, track. When I was 13, I was diagnosed with generalized dystonia, and I was no longer able to do the sports that I loved and that I had grown up doing. I was kind of lost there for a little bit, and my mom was looking for other options of things that I could still do and still compete in. I got in the water that first day, and I absolutely loved the freedom and just the fact that I could leave my wheelchair behind and I could leave my crutches behind. And when I first started swimming, if you had told me that I'd hold world records and have gold medals and stuff, I wouldn't have believed you. I have primary generalized dystonia, which is a neurological movement disorder that causes involuntary muscle contractions and postures. So basically, I don't have very good control over my body anymore. Pretty much all my muscles are pulling all the time. I didn't know what this would mean for my life, so it's definitely a scary time of just a lot of unknowns, and it's taken me a long time to work through it, but I'm in a lot better place now than I was. I haven't been able to use my right foot in about 11 years. It's just kind of a decoration at this point, I always say. I find the water is so good for me. It's also kind of where I sort through all my thoughts. And so if I'm getting frustrated, if there's something I'm having trouble doing, I know that once I'm in the water, that's my safe place. And I can push off the wall, I can go as fast as I want. And it's just kind of my home. It's where I feel the most me. And I think there's often this pity model still involved with disability where people see a wheelchair and they're like, oh, I wish a cure for you. I wish that I could fix you. I'm so sorry for you. And I don't want people to be sorry for me. Everybody has things that they deal with, and this is just life. As long as the world is accessible, then I can do whatever I want to do. And if it's not accessible, then let's make it accessible. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always been super crafty. I've always loved creating and making new things. I started crocheting when I was really young. My favorite thing about it was making something and seeing the grumpiest person smile when they saw it. And I always think that's so cool when I can see somebody having a bad day and I can create something that brings just a little bit of a smile to them. I have a crochet business called Crafty Prairie Girl. While I was crocheting and working on those projects, I was having more and more trouble holding crochet hooks because of my dystonia. It would cause a lot of pain. I couldn't crochet for very long, and it got to the point where I could barely hold a crochet hook. My dad is quite creative as well, and so we kind of drew up a plan of how we were going to fix this, and I started making ergonomic crochet hook handles. We found out last spring that the Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games would be postponed till this summer. My first coach, Karen Williams, she really believed in me before I could believe in myself. She helped me through so many things when I was first diagnosed, and I remember she told me one day, she's like, it's not if you make the Paralympics, it's when. And just to have somebody believe in me so furiously, it meant so much to me. My mom played on the women's Husky basketball team. She's been there for me since day one. My whole family has. My dad has slept in the vehicle when he's driven me to Saturday practices at 6 a.m, and just to know that for Tokyo, they want to be there in the stands if they can. And I often get told oh yeah, you're going to the Olympics. And I'm like, oh, actually I'm going to the Paralympics. And they're like, oh, they don't see it as the same. But the para in Paralympics actually stands for parallel because it's a parallel games. The athletes have been working just as hard, and I don't get super nervous before. I more just get more hyper-focused on it. It's I am working towards this goal, and I just kind of always have that next goal. And even if it's just a little thing, I like to have that goal written down so that it's like a staircase and I can see myself going up one floor at a time.